monetary
but
purposes,
Dilip Cherian
and
isn't,
not out of national consideration.
No, but is that being excessively moralistic? Dilip Cherian, let's be honest. The fact is that you, if I may be allowed to say so, wine and dine with politicians, with bureaucrats, because you believe that's an extension of your profession. That the proximity that you get to bureaucrats and politicians enable you to influence their policies. Do you believe that what you're doing is wrong? Do you believe that that when you bat for special interest groups, many of whom are your clients, that you're misusing that proximity?
I think that as far as I'm concerned, and I can only talk for myself here, the idea is that if you want to influence policy, the right way to do it is not by whining and dining them, but making sure that you have a case which you can sell with conviction, and you have access in the places where policy making is actually happening.
But is it about that? It's not about suitcase. Are you telling me that in this country the bureaucrats and politicians don't expect some kind of quid pro quo?
In fact, I'm very delighted that you brought this up, because that's not our style at all. I'm not saying others don't do it, but that is not the style that I have functioned in. And the reason you continue to have access is either because you are the suitcase style, or you're well known to be not the suitcase style, and you carry conviction, you carry information, and you also carry the ability of persuasion, which is very important.
Okay.
To my mind, if a true lobbyist is one who has the combination of these three, and then penetrates through the two problems we have, which is opacity in the kind of policy making that takes place, and the rampant corruption which seems to be everywhere.
Okay, Paranjoy, final word from you. Can it change in a country? Can in a country, I come back to, in a country like India, can you live without the middleman? The middleman is needed. Everything from a passport to a hospital bed, you need influence peddling. You know, and it's not just the big deals, it's at every level in our lives.
You know, it's one thing to say somebody who facilitates and takes a fee for providing a service, you know. It could be a wholesaler, it could be your tailor or whoever. But, you know, when everything is shrouded in darkness, then you are talking about influencing policies. You are talking about influencing appointments. What my friend Dilip Cherian is saying, in an ideal world, it sounds wonderful. That here you have a guy who's trying to influence policy by putting up a strong case for, against whatever. But that's not the way life is. Certainly not in India. You have a huge amount of corruption because you have a political leadership and you have corrupt businessmen and they are hand in glove, and that is the fountainhead of corruption in this country. That's the way, I mean, the election system has been working. That's the way you are seeing the other side of the license control Raj in this brave new world of liberalization that you're talking about. That's the ugly underbelly, which we have to acknowledge. And today, all of us, your channel, all of us, why are we talking about the 2G spectrum scam? Because it's looted. You know, somebody made a calculation. What does this mean? You know, just assume that the CAG got it right. 1,76,000. What does it mean? That every single Indian has been ripped off to the tune of 10,000 rupees. Is that worth it?
Okay, point taken. You know, but as Mahesh Jethmalani said, one case like this doesn't necessarily mean that you need legislation. It's not about legislation. You can't legislate morality at the end of the day.
I agree.
Paranjoy Gua Thakurta, Mahesh Jethmalani, Suhel Seth, and Dilip Cherian. Appreciate your joining us here on the big debate. Remember, the big question that we'd asked, should lobbying be legalized in India? Amrit Arya writes in to our IBNlive.com Blaze site. He says, we all know lobbyists exist. Instead of living in denial about lobbying, it should be legalized and made accountable. Where do we stand? What's the editor's take tonight on India at 9? The problem, we believe, is not lobbying. It's the misuse of authority and discretionary powers. Middlemen will always exist in a corrupted and opaque system that privileges influence peddling. You can legislate lobbying, but you cannot legislate morality.